I saw some really beautiful wall lights, but they were a bit out of my price range at $490 a pair, so I thought I'd try and make something similar. So I'm using a cardboard box, and the cardboard box size is 45 centimeters by 29 centimeters. So I've marked the center of the box, and I'm going 15 centimeters out on each side, and then dividing, going from the 15 centimeter mark, I'm going down by 2 centimeters, and then 2 centimeters, 2 centimeters, and then 1 centimeter. So I've got a total of 7 centimeters on either side of my center point. Going to the other side of the box, I've done the same because I'm going to be using this corner piece. So I'm going down another 7 centimeters at 2, 2, 2, and 1, and the same on the other side. And now I'm just going to cut the measurement out. I'm just using an empty cutter to do this. I've got my piece cut out, and now I'm taking my ruler, and along the 2 centimeter mark and the 1 centimeter mark, I'm just going to be scoring that. I'm just using the back of a pair of scissors to do that, and then just score all the lines. I've got all my lines scored, and now take a ruler and hold it tight, and then just bend the cardboard up along that line. When you've got a small piece like the last one, move the cardboard to the other side so that you've got the bigger piece that you can just flip over. And then just bend all of them the same, so that eventually you're going to land up with a little piece that goes over to make a little box like that. When it comes to the corners, you've got your 5 pieces that are folded like that. So that's the one side, and this is the other side. Now what you want to do is from the first fold on the other side, you want to go in by 2 centimeters and then draw a line just along there. So what we're going to be cutting out now is all this shaded area. So we're cutting that piece off, and we're cutting that piece off. So that when you collapse your box, you don't have any open sides over here. It's all closed up nicely. And just do that on all 4 corners. And now I'm going to just glue everything together, and I'm using hot glue for that. After putting it on the wall to try it out, I decided it's way too big and chunky. So what I'm doing now is I'm dividing my little box into 2. So I've got my 2, because I was going to be making 2 side wall lights anyway. So I'm going to be cutting that down the center. And now on a spare piece of cardboard, I'm cutting some more strips so that I can just fold them exactly the same way as we did for that to put them inside. So the first one I've got is 1 centimeter, 2, 2, 2, and then 1. And I'm just going to make those into little boxes so that they can fit inside this piece. I've got my little piece cut out, and now I'm going to be gluing that onto the section. So the 1 centimeter is going to be glued like that, and then we're going to collapse it under and glue this onto the other side. I've modified my box so that the distance is now, because I was not happy with those really big ones, and now I'm going to be using some aluminium foil, and all I'm going to be doing is covering this section and the top. I'm not touching the sides because I need to glue on there. And I'm using the shiny side, and all I'm doing is using contact adhesive, and I'm going to just glue that down, and then I'll cut the paper down later. goes tacky quite quickly this way. And then all we're going to do is place our foil on top. And now I can trim the excess off. I've trimmed it all down and covered the back like that. So now we're ready for the next step. I've got a fairly thick piece of cardboard, and all I'm doing now is I'm just using my T-square and making sure that I've got right angles. And now I'm going to be taking a ruler, which is the width of this particular ruler is 2.5 centimeters wide. And all I'm going to be drawing now is on this piece of cardboard 12 lines. You can measure it out. I just find it easier if I'm using something where I don't have to measure everything. So my little gaps are 2.5 centimeters wide each, and then just draw all the lines in. So I've got my 12 lines drawn in, and now I'm going to be measuring from the bottom where I've got the straight line for this set square and measuring up by 40 centimeters, and then just drawing a line at the top. So I've got my little piece marked off, and now we're going to be counting inward. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to start off in this center one. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the other side as well. So for the center one, we're going to take the line all the way up to the 40 centimeter mark. It's quite an easy pattern that I'm actually doing. What I'm doing is from the top line, I'm going down by 6 centimeters and drawing a line there. So do it on both sides. I'm just using a pen to just show you what I'm doing, and I'll straighten them all up afterwards. And then I'm going up 3 centimeters on the next one. And then on the next one, I'm going down 7 centimeters. And then going up by 2, and then coming down by 6, and then repeating that on the 4 sides or the 4 panels. I've got my pattern all drawn out, and now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be cutting along the lines on the inside ones, so that I can cut a small groove out so that when I bend it, it will bend properly. Now I've drawn my, I don't think you can see this, but the lines on the cardboard are coming down like that. If you use a cardboard and they're going in the opposite direction to what your lines are going in, it's going to be a little bit difficult to bend it. So try and make sure that your lines are going in the same direction as the lines that you've drawn. So now I'm just going to slice all these lines. Once again, I'm using my empty cutter to do this. And you don't want to cut all the way through, you're just pretty much scoring it, but just taking a wee piece out. And then just cut all the lines. And now I'm going to cut the whole thing out. Some of the little spare pieces that I've cut off, I'm keeping because I want to make it sort of like look a bit like 3D, so eventually I'll be placing them on top. I've got my design all cut out, and now I'm just going to bend it along all the score lines so that I can curve it. So I've got it all bent all nicely now. Because I want it to look a little bit rough, I'm taking the back of a paintbrush and I'm just going to be squashing some little divots into it so that it looks a bit worn. This is an optional step. I just want it to look so that you don't notice too much the corrugated lines of the box. I'm just going to do the whole thing. So I finished putting all my little indentations in, and now I'm going to be using Cello sheets, and I'm going to be covering the whole thing with that. I'm going to be using this contact adhesive spray, and because it's contact adhesive you have to spray on both sides, so I'm just going to spray both of them now. So when I'm spraying the contact, I'm actually opening it so that I can get it in the grooves as well. And we just wait for them to get a little bit tacky before we put them together. So the contact is a little bit sticky now, so now I'm going to put it on. So I'm bending it so that I can get one piece at a time, because I want it to go inside these little grooves here. So I've cut it all down the centers here, and now I'm just going to spray this part with contact adhesive because this is still got on, and then I'm going to just fold them over like that. I've got my nice textured look on the back, and now I've taken some of the small pieces and put it on, but I've got a really smooth texture on these ones so that they look like mirrors. And now I'm going to be taking some of I've got this beautiful diamante wrap, and I'm going to be placing it all the way around the sides on these small front pieces. I'm using hot glue to glue those on. I've done the first one, and now I'm just going to do the other ones like that, doing them exactly the same way. I've got a spare piece of cardboard which is 8 centimeters by 29 centimeters, and I'm going to be gluing that into the center just to give it a little bit of support to shape it. I've glued the cardboard in so that it gives me a nice curve to my light, and now I'm going to spray the whole thing with contact adhesive and put aluminium foil down so that I've got a bit of reflection on the surface here. I've got a 1.25 litre soft drink bottle which I'm just going to be cutting down, so I'm just poking a hole in that. I'm sorry, all my footage for completing my light has been corrupted and I can't use it, so I'm going to just explain to you what I've done. So with the little plastic bottle, I've cut it at 12 centimeters, and then I've taken this small piece here and cut it out, so it's like a little spoon shape that is cut out. So I've just cut that whole piece out, and then on the sides I've left 1 centimeter on either side, which I've bent outward. So in other words, taking this piece and bending it flat that way so it lies flat like that. And then I've taken my soldering iron and just poked 2 holes in that little tab so that I can attach it inside my light like that, and I've used zip ties to do that. And I'm just using these small little remote control color changing puck lights, and I've placed it inside the little plastic bottle. for the front, I've taken the strips that we made with all the diamantes on it, and I've glued the small one on this side, and then getting a wee bit bigger over there, and then the center one is the largest one, and then descending on the other side to the smallest one there. And then I've taken some of these little tiny rhinestones. They're about a centimetre diameter rhinestone, and I've just placed them on the tips of all of the little pieces, so on all of the ones like that on the bottom and on the top. And then I've taken some more of the diamond wrap and placed them between the strips that are the flat ones on the main back piece, and I put one over there, and once again descending in height, another one, and then the smallest one over there. And to connect them all together, what I did was I took 1.2 millimeter screws and I screwed them into the cardboard at the back, so into the supporting piece over there, and I've just covered it all with diamond wrap. I've done the same on both sides. So the last final thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking one of these large ones and just placing it in the middle of my big long strip. So about there. I'll do the same on both of them. So there my decorative lights are, next to the mirror which I'll be working on next. So I've got them on the press button remotes, so I can put whatever colour that I would like on. So we've got white, which is rather nice as well, but I like the purple. So I have a choice. I'm very happy with the way those turned out.